The complete guide on how to bring your business online, attracting an audience on social media. Learn how to position your brand, products, and services at the right intersection on the customer itinerary. Watch this video to know when and how to reach potential customers and how to re-energize existing ones. In a digital era where social media are more prominent than ever and where artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things are expanding their reach every day, you definitely want to boost your brand and revenue through smart audience targeting. Here is how to do it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm doing fantastic today. I hope you are doing marvelous. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today, I want to talk to you about how to bring your audience, your business online, and how to attract an audience, not everywhere, just on social media. Now, the first thing you want to do is to decide whom you want to reach. You have to understand what audiences are. The audience that you want to reach has to fit with your business model. You want to understand why it's important to have a target audience for your business. Now, let's define a target audience here. A target audience is a group of people you want to reach with your marketing message because they may be likely to take action as a result of seeing it. Let me repeat that. This is very critical here. Your target audience is the cluster of people online, of course, followers, people who like your page. I'll go back into the details later on, but right now I just want to say that the target audience is a cluster of people you want to reach with your marketing message because those folks are more likely to take action as a result of seeing your message. People in your target audience will have certain characteristics in common. Let's really define a little bit of those characteristics. Those features will fall broadly into three categories. Number one, let's talk about the demographics. Those folks may have the same age, gender, household income, occupation, education, and location. That's for demographics. We can also talk about the interests. Those folks may share interest in certain products, topics, or activities. And the third broad category you want to pay attention to when defining your target audience is the behaviors of your target audience. So your target audience may read the same publications, they may visit the same online destinations, they may have certain hobbies in common, or play the same sports. So to define a target audience, you need to focus on demographics, interests, and behaviors. Now, what types of audience do we really have? Depending upon your company, it is possible for a company to have more than one target audience, right? You don't have to be a large multinational to have multiple target audiences. It depends really on the products or services that you are offering. Now, we have something called primary target audience. A lot of research has been going on around that area. As a matter of fact, there was an article not long ago in the Harvard Business Review, HBR, that really focused deeply on the topic of primary target audience. As a business owner, your primary target audience will typically get most of your attention. That's the core of your business, right? Because you expect those people in your primary target audience to become your most valuable group of customers. And then you move on to a secondary target audience. Now, the secondary target audience are other groups, what I call non-core customers, non-core prospects, non-core groups of people with common characteristics who may be interested in your products or services, but they're unlikely to become your most valuable customers. So secondary target audiences can help you structure your marketing efforts. And this is especially true if you sell more than one product or service, or if you feel your products or services may appeal to distinctly different groups of people. Let me just kind of give you a simple example here. Let's say you are selling makeup products, right? So, and you want to focus on young females, so young women between the ages of 18 to 25 or 18 to 30. So the group women ages 18 to 30, 25 will constitute your primary target audience. And for women ages 25 to 35 or 40 may constitute your secondary target audience. The reason being that the older women might be also interested in the products that you're selling to the younger generation. And the good thing here is that if you structure your marketing effort the right way, you can actually sell simultaneously to multiple target audiences. All right. So just to kind of recap this section here, you want to define your target audience based on demographics, interests, and behaviors. And you want to further split those target audiences into your primary target audience, the core of your business. That's about 75% to 80% of your marketing efforts. And then you have your secondary target audience, your non-core target audience, and that should draw about 25 to 20% of your marketing efforts. Okay, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having fun today and talking about a very interesting, very important topic: how do you attract an audience on social media? And this falls back into the whole series we've been doing on how to bring your business online. You have thousands of small business owners right now who are just, they're just doing very fine, but they're not online. They need to build a presence online, because that's where the future is. And again, I always say it doesn't matter whether you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or in Dallas, Texas, or in a small rural area in Tennessee, or elsewhere in the whole world. What matters is that you have to connect with your potential customers, right? So those customers may be in the United States or Canada or China or Nigeria or Brazil, doesn't really matter, but with the right online presence, you can reach them. If you like the clarity and the quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel. If you haven't already done so, you can turn on the notification bell so you are informed in real time when we drop a new show, something we do every single day, rain or shine. Comment below, let us know your experience when it comes to attracting an audience on social media. And we also want to invite you to share and like this content if you think we're adding value to your life. I want to talk now about how to create a target audience for your business. To do so, you need to have some kind of template. We call it your TAT, your TAT, your target audience template. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, anything complicated. It just needs to have a few important topics, a few important items, because a target audience can help you focus your marketing efforts on the people most likely to be interested in what your business has to offer. Because the last thing you really want to do is waste money on folks who never would consider your products or services, right? So going back to what I said earlier about the primary target audience, you need to, once you identify it, and that's why we need the target audience template, the TAT. That tool will help you, when utilized properly, to identify your target audience. Now, on the template, you will have something called need. What does your target audience need that your products or service provides? In other words, what is the pain item you're solving? Right? Anytime you are offering a product or service, you're trying to solve a pain in the customer base or in the population. And if you do it right, you are going to increase your market share and increase sales also. So need. Move on to demographics. Number 2. You want to describe your target audience by age, gender, household income, education or occupation, and location. All of those 6 things or 7 things are important. Let me repeat that. We'll put them on the screen. So we have age, gender, household income, education or occupation, and location. Third item on your TAT, the interest. You want to describe what your prospective customers are generally interested in. And again, here the idea is not to zero in on the the particular interest. You can define things in broad categories. As long as you're able to tie your marketing efforts to the interest you have identified, you should be fine. The fourth element you want to put on the TAT is behaviors, right? You want to depict common behaviors among your target audience. And if you do it right, if you identify the need and the demographics and the interest of your target audience pretty well, finding the common behaviors should be relatively easy. And the last thing you want to put on the target audience template is the name and image. You want to give your target audience a name and even an image if you choose, right? You want to personify your target audience. For example, you can pick the picture of a young man in his 20s, or let's say a 25-year-old young man who lives in LA, who lives in California, loves to party 3 times a week, loves to surf, is as a gym aficionado, right? You're trying to personify, you're trying to epitomize your ideal customer. And once you're able to personify that audience, you're able to use the right marketing technique, right, to focus your effort on that person. Because marketers will often use the personification, that the name and the image, to remind them what their target customer might look like, right? It's all about visualization. You gotta close your eyes and see exactly who you're trying to target. Another thing you want to do is, how do you really determine your target audience? You can do so by doing research, all right? Market research, customer research. For instance, you can have focus groups, online questionnaires, right? Surveys are a pretty great way to collect intel on who your target audience might be. You can do individual interviews with people who use certain products, or you can even have in-home studies. Now, if you don't have the resources to conduct this kind of research, you can start with your current customers, right? Especially those who buy your products or services. You want to focus your marketing efforts on them by asking for feedback. You can think about the characteristics that your current customers already have in common, and you can brainstorm with your team to describe them. Another way to determine your target audience is just to gather intel on your competitors. Monitor your rivals, right? Understand how they communicate. Understand how they go about talking to the groups of people they're trying to reach. You can also evaluate their accounts of important brands in your space on social media. Another way to determine your target audience is to talk to friends. And I don't care, you can even talk to strangers here. Any person you think may have an interest in your product, talk to them. The idea here is to collect info, and is to collect data as broad as possible, so you're not limiting yourself. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Keyword. We are still talking here about how to attract an audience on social media. And in the first 2 sections, I've talked to you about deciding whom you want to reach, and then creating a target audience for your business. Now let's talk about understanding your audience. If you want to, before you understand your audience, and let's take the example of Facebook or Instagram. Facebook and Instagram, 2 of the top social medias, both are owned by Facebook, by the way. And when you attract an audience on social media, your marketing messages can reach more people interested in your products, right? Because of the domino effect, people liking, and their friends seeing what they like, and then their friends seeing what they like, and then so on and so forth. You also have the share feature, so people can share stuff, right? For instance, if you share stuff on Facebook and Instagram, more people might be interested And ultimately, your brand can connect with new customers, right? So, different social media platforms use different categories to describe audiences. Let's just, again, use an example here because there are gazillions of social medias out there. We're just going to focus on Facebook and Instagram, two of the most popular, as I said. On Facebook, for instance, your audience will fall into three broad categories: people who like your page, your followers, and people you reached. On Instagram, it rather falls into two categories: followers and people reached. Now, people who like your page, these are people who actively like your company. They just love your brand or products. They are generally very engaged. They are eager to hear from you. Anytime you post something, anytime your company posts something, they're very quick to react, to engage with your products or services. They advocate for your products or service, right? So when someone likes your page, typically they're showing support for your business. Now, people who like your page also follow it automatically. That's a feature, that's an algorithm that Facebook has put in place. And by following your page automatically, it means that they are receiving updates about it in the newsfeed. Your page will also show up in the like section of their Facebook profile. Now let's move on to, again, here we're talking about understanding your audience, your online audience, right? So first I spoke to you about people who like your page. Then you have your followers. Now, followers are people you want to keep up to date, people who want to keep up to date with your company, brand, or products, right? The followers of your page generally will receive updates about it in their news feed. People can follow your page even if they haven't liked it. People can even unfollow your page. Another category, the third category here, this is more broad, this is broader, and this is people reached, right? So these are people you reach with your message. This group is not as close to you, and it takes a bit more effort actually to reach them. When people who follow or like your page share one of your posts, that post will reach a larger audience, which is what I was talking about earlier, the power of sharing, right? People reached includes everyone, people who like your page, your followers, and other people who saw it. People reached can also be a broader audience you reached by promoting a post or using Facebook or Instagram advertising tools. The same approach. I'm only using Facebook or Instagram here, but the approach is similar when you go from Facebook to YouTube, for instance, or LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter. They all have analogous, similar processes in place. So you have your core group of followers, and then you have the periphery, people who are, they just kind of interested, or sort of like, they are in a wait and see approach when it comes to your products or services. Now, the thing here is that other people who don't follow you can also see your posts and stories, which increases your overall audience, right? There are a few ways this can happen. I already said that followers will share your post, stories, or business profile with their community, and this could be on social media or outside. People find your post or stories from hashtags that you use. Most social medias now will have hashtag embedded, including the latest one, the TikTok. People discover your post or story in their Explorer feed, and you can use advertising tools to expand your reach. So to understand your target audience, you have to first know the platform on which you are, and then you have to sort of set your audience into two: your primary target audience, your core audience, and your secondary target audience. All right, this is it, folks. This was a short conversation around how to bring your business online, but most importantly, how to attract an audience on social media. Today, I talked to you about how to decide whom you want to reach. Number 2, how to create a target audience for your business. And number 3, how to understand your audience. Thanks so much for listening to me. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.